was an unusually aggravating season, Mike. I mean, it was, forget the game for a moment. On the whole, it was a tough watch to watch this offense this year.
So I'm listening to the lady, the last caller, and I think she summed it up the way a lot of people think.
Yeah.
It was very aggravating, especially when you look at the level of talent on this roster. Just to see how they were never able to really put 4 quarters of football together.
Yeah. By the way, Mike, Mike, real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off. Phone's a little squirrely. I don't know if you got to move left or right or get out of water or something, but it's a little not the greatest cell phone reception. That's a little better.
I live kind of in the woods. So.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Thanks, man.
But yeah, it was disappointing, especially when you look at the level of talent on this roster. It was disappointing to see that they could never really put together 4 quarters of football. That's probably the biggest thing that stands out to me, because there were times when they really looked good, but then being able to do that for a 60-minute football game is what you need to do most times, and especially in the fourth quarter when you really need to shine, because that's where the games are won, and they just were not that good going down the stretch.
Mike, isn't that a head coach's job to be able to collaborate all the different parts of a team to make 4 quarters come together into a solid performance? And what we're talking about today is our head coach. How good is he? I think it's the head coach's job to make sure that the offense and the defense and the special teams and the discipline and everything else is all there and tied up with a bow for game day. And I don't think this entire season it was tied up with the bow for game day.
So I think we take it lightly when Nick says, it begins with me, and it really does. Yeah, you're right on it. And I think when he's saying that, he really means it, because he knows that it's on him to make sure that the coaches are doing their part, and that trickles down to the players. What they've gotten from their coaches, they need to go out on the field and execute that.
Mike.
And to me,
sorry. Go ahead.
And to me, there's some coaching issues, but I still believe that there were enough good plays called in that game for them to pull that game out. I don't think you lay it on coaching and coaching alone.
Right.
I think there's some issues. There were some issues with the execution of many of the plays that were called. There were enough good plays called, and if you just zoom in on that last possession, there are enough good plays called in that possession for them to win the football game if the guys execute the plays way they should have been.
No question. If Jalen on the third down is a little more accurate, if Devontae makes the catch, both of whom could have been a little better, no question. I mean, that's just one of a few examples. Mike, there was only 2 things that really shocked me in the game, because for the most part it played out the way a lot of these games played out. Jake Elliott misses a kick, offense struggles, et cetera, et cetera. Only 2 things shocked me. One, that Cooper and Quinyon got burned to the extent that they did. Not extensively, but like they almost never get beat. That was really surprising. But 2, Mike, the one that really also shocked me, that Jalen didn't run more. All year, and really for a couple of years, I've been saying, hey, come playoff time, it's that's what he does, that's what he'll do. You got it in your back pocket, this mediocre offense will get better. And it didn't happen. Why do you think he didn't run more, and how much did it disappoint you?
So, that was disappointing to me. And like you and many of us, I expected that. I just thought, okay, it's do or die. So, Jalen's going to put his cape on and do what he's done when this team is moving at their best, at their optimum, but he just never. I don't know if I don't. That part really puzzles me, because I know that he can run, and I don't know why this season was so reluctant to run.
Well, why is it the quarterback's decision? Like, I don't understand. I always took what the coaches said and carried out.
Yeah, but John, you
role.
You didn't make 250. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of reports that he doesn't want to do it, and he's got a lot more say than you
Isn't it the coach's job to teach and bring the best out of a quarterback? And if he is hesitant to do certain parts of the offense, say, too bad, this is what helps us win?
There's not many times that there's a called run. Jalen, many times when he has run, will do that at the line of scrimmage. When he sees a particular look where he knows it's advantageous for him to take off and run, he's done that a lot over time. Just get to the line of scrimmage, see what they're in defensively, and know that there's an opportunity there and take advantage of the opportunity. I've seen more of that over the years than just called quarterback runs.
Yeah. I mean, Mike, I agree with you. It's interesting because I hadn't thought of it that way, but I agree. I think the thing that lacked the most was the ride and decide keeper, where he just, takes the, you're not going to generally score a touchdown, but you get that 5 to 7 yard, you slide down. I mean, I remember watching Nick Foles do that in 2013 in Chip's first year. And it's like Jalen just kind of, and I think not doing it made it harder on Saquon because, and this is a guess, I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I would imagine outside ends were crashing down on Saquon in the middle because they knew Jalen was so infrequently keeping it even to get that 7 yard run.
Well, over time, teams figure out how to stop things like that, and that's part of it. The fact that when you run these plays where the quarterback has multiple options on it, if he's going to give it off to the dive back, if he's going to keep it around the side or flick it or throw the slant route or one of the passes off of it. When teams have seen this thing enough, they're smart enough to figure out ways to stop it, especially making sure that someone's devoted to the quarterback and they're going to hit the quarterback, whether he hands it off or keeps it. That's just how the NFL adjusts to things.
So, Mike, I want to cover the Patullo thing here with you for a second. And obviously, you know him personally. You and he, been around the Eagles for a number of years. So I'm not saying he's Bill Walsh. I want to be very clear. But I honestly believe there may be no one in recent years in Philly sports who's been more unfairly criticized than him, over-blamed than him. Do you think that I know you're very pro-fan. I mean, you live amongst us. You love the fans. But, I really thought people were incredibly unfair to him. I mean, first off, it's Sirianni's offense. Second, the players are the ones on the field. And I just thought it's almost like people don't want to criticize the players because they've come to love them. But my God, I mean, I thought they were way more culpable than
I think
Patullo.
You can say that for Nick Sirianni also in some people's cases.
A little bit, yeah.
In some people's cases, they're afraid to criticize Nick Sirianni because they like appreciate the Super Bowl appearances, the Super Bowl win. But the reality is this coach needed to do a better job of teaching football this year and bringing the best out of his players. And then the whole culture got thrown out of whack, and he's supposed to be the culture guy. Mike, why is it, I guess, I feel it's deserving that those around the country don't believe in this coach. Those outside of Philadelphia, they don't view him as an elite coach. Is that wrong of those outside Philadelphia? Or is it wrong of us inside Philadelphia who give him sometimes maybe more credit than he deserves?
I think probably the one thing that may rub people is some of the sideline antics. They may not like some of the things that he does. But when you look at the overall job that he does as a head coach, I think he's a really good head coach. I think when you look at many of these teams, so I'm watching Houston, and their head coach, he doesn't call any plays. There's so many teams around the league where the head coach is
but
not calling plays.
But it's DeMeco Ryans. I know. Those guys respect the hell out of him.
But, John, the players respect Nick. You hear it all the time.
All right. I'll respect DeMeco Ryans to an extra added degree because he was an ass kicker in the NFL. I'm just telling you.
I know you
that's
are,
part of
but
it.
he has a completely different job now, and they respect the fact that he gets them ready each and every week to play. And for the most part, that's what Nick has been able to do here in Philadelphia, get these guys ready to play. But coming off of a Super Bowl winning season.
I don't know that that's true anymore, Mike. It feels like we were not ready to play more than we were this season.
No,
it feels like we weren't
point.
able to string together 2 quarters.
John, that's the point I'm about to make. Coming off of a Super Bowl season where you played more games than anyone else in the National Football League, and then you go into this season, our expectations are so high, and we think that there's a chance that we can do it again. And then things start to go awry. They set the bar so high. We just have all these expectations, and they just weren't able to meet them for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
And back to your point about Kevin Patullo, when people start to say Kevin Patullo, and then when you don't know any better, you just say, oh, yeah, it was Kevin Patullo's fault because the play didn't. And when you don't know, you just don't know. When you look a little bit closer at the details of it, then I realize it's not so much Kevin Patullo. Yeah, maybe he's a culprit at some degree,
sure,
but it's not to the degree that we're hearing from all of these people that are cheering and
totally.
all feel like they're like everything's going to be okay now that.
Yeah.
That Kevin Patullo's not calling plays anymore.
You and I are aligned there. Yep. Mike,
well, who do you want? Who would you like to bring in to call plays?
Joe DeCamera.
Yeah, I'll do it. You know what I'll say? Hey, Jalen, hand the ball off with behind a healthy offensive line.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I hear you, Mike. Mike, let's get to one more here. And again, this is another guy you know well because he's been in the building for 4 years and you've been there. AJ.
Yeah.
So yesterday, consuming a lot of stuff online, I was really dismayed to see his lack of effort on running plays as a blocker. I didn't notice that. It's hard to notice on the TV copy during a game.
Right.
Did his effort disappoint you?
In a word, yes. I know that he has more to give, and I just don't think he played as hard as he can play.
Yeah.
I know that he's extremely talented. He's big, strong. So when he puts his mind to it, he's a good blocker. When he puts his mind to it, he's one of the best receivers in our game. So his performance just did not meet it for me.
Yep. All right, Mike, final thing. Between now and the kickoff in September, you got, 8 months or whatever. How many rounds of golf are you going to get in?
Every one that I can, Joe. As much as my body will allow.
Good for you. Hey, Mike, have a wonderful day. Let me thank you very much for your tremendous commentary on the show. We greatly appreciate it. It's always a real pleasure to have you on. And, the sun will come out tomorrow, and we'll be back at it again next year. Thanks, man.
Tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
There he is.
With you.
Thanks, buddy. There he is, Mr. Mike Quick. 215-592-9494. Yeah, that's one. Look, there's a good and bad to the AJ effort thing. The good is, if you can get him to try harder, maybe you do still have an elite player, like a really elite player.
Well, when he tries hard, he can do everything to the nth degree.
Yeah.
We're talking about run blocking.
No, I know.
This guy can destroy
No, we all
people.
saw it. So the good news, maybe you can get it back on track here. The bad news is maybe you can't because Jalen's going to be here, and I think AJ's too far gone frustration-wise to want to play with AJ, to want to play with Jalen is my guess. The other flip side is you put him on the market.
Is it Jalen or is it the coaches too?
Yeah, I think it's Jalen. You put him on the market, a lot of people are going to see what they saw, and that's not good. But they also know, hey, let's get him happier, and then maybe he gets back to being a top 3 wide receiver. So it's a second or third round pick, and it might be a third round pick. He did not put the best tape out there this year. Plus, he's got a big contract.